sinking down.
And now, this 2010 interview with the late Jack Bruce on the Mark Berman Radio Show.
On the line with me is true rock royalty. He's been called one of the most powerful vocalists and greatest bass players of all time. Besides vocals, he was the main composer and bass guitarist for Cream. And by the way, Cream grossed more than the next top 6 live acts of the day, including Jimi Hendrix and the Doors. Then Cream went on to sell, 35 million albums in just over 2 years. They were awarded the first ever platinum disc for Wheels of Fire. My guest collaborated with names like, Robin Trower, John McLaughlin, Frank Zappa, Tony Williams, John Mayall. He formed West Bruce and Lang, recorded with Parliament Funkadelics' Bernie Worrell, performed in Ringo Starr's All-Star Band, and so many more. In 2005, he reunited with Ginger Baker and Eric Clapton for a series of concerts at Royal Albert Hall and Madison Square Garden, but you knew that. And this received worldwide attention and some of the most talked about concerts in recent memory. Please welcome the legendary Jack Bruce. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. After all that build-up, I don't know what I can say, really, except hello.
You know, I have to tell you something. In compiling this, I'm thinking to myself, I'm slighting you because there is so much to Jack Bruce that the intro would be the entire 10 minutes. So we're going to try and cover some of that with this.
Right. Well, you carry on, man. I'm all ears, as they say.
Was the bass guitar your first instrument?
No, I started off singing, really. And then my first real, I played the piano for a bit. And then my first real instrument was cello. And then I got into double bass and then bass guitar.
You play the cello, and I've read that you said it's your hardest instrument. You'll only play it in the studio.
It's something that you really have to, devote your life to, really. You can't just play a bit of cello, It's something you really have to focus in on if you want to do it properly. And I've got too much respect for the instrument to actually play it much. I have played it on stage a couple of times, but yeah, in the studio it's fine. But nowadays, I tend to just play it at home for my own pleasure,
For our musicians listening, we're going to go back. Jack, what was your first bass guitar, and do you still have it?
No, I don't. The very first one I had was a Japanese bass. In the 60s, Japanese instruments weren't yet as great as they are now, some of them. They were really like copies. This was a kind of Fender copy, but not a very good one. And it electrocuted me on the stage of the 100 Club in Oxford Street in London, so it melted really, basically.
Growing up in Scotland, who influenced you?
Well, I was really into the great jazz bass players when I was very young. People like Percy Heath, sort of Oscar Pettiford, just all the different, Ray Brown. The list is sort of endless, really. Those are the guys that Charles Mingus. Those are the guys that I was really into at the time, and then in turn turned me on to, especially Mingus. He turned me on to more kind of blues influenced stuff.
Where'd you meet Ginger Baker and Eric Clapton?
Ginger I met when I was playing in Cambridge University when I was 17. Wow. And he was playing there, and I sat in with the band there, and that's how I got to meet Ginger. Eric was the first time I played with him was a jam that we did at the Windsor Festival. There was all sorts of people sort of just jamming, and that was the first time. And then I played with him a little bit with John Mayall, who I was with for a short time.
Yeah, you were with the Blues Breakers.
Yeah, that was when I first played with Eric, yeah.
It's crazy. Everybody in a band, 17 years old, they rehearse usually in people's garage. Where'd you rehearse?
Well, I was a professional from 17. I didn't really do rehearsing in that way. I was out making a living as soon as I kind of could, because that's the way I was doing it. I didn't have a band that rehearsed. We were actually all just professional musicians trying to do new things. With Cream, we first played together in Ginger's house, his little house in a place called Neasden in London, and then we went to a kind of school, a church hall really, where we rehearsed for a little while.
For my audience to sit back and hear what you just said, that you would Cream rehearsed in Ginger Baker's house.
Well, we didn't rehearse. We just
got together.
That was the first time we played. We wanted to see if it was going to work.
Right.
As a band, and so we set up in his little front room.
That's an amazing thought.
And we opened they had these windows. We opened the windows, and all these kids were coming up. So that was the first time we actually played together, and it sounded pretty good. So that's why we decided to go on with it, to carry on.
Yeah, and we all loved what happened after that. So it was a great beginning. Do you remember your first concert in the States? Where was it?
First one in the States was the Murray the K show at the Paramount Theatre, I think it was. And that was a kind of crazy introduction to the States because we were doing 10 shows a day. So that was our introduction, and it was quite a strange one. The Who, the Miracles, Wilson Pickett. It was a very diverse lineup.
Boy, it certainly was. And if you had to pick your most memorable concert or event, and it doesn't have to be with Cream, but which event really comes to mind as something that you'll never forget?
Well, there's a few. There's one that I did my 50th birthday concert where I got all my friends together in Cologne in Germany, and we spent a week just making a film and an album. That was really great. The Cream reunion, obviously, that was kind of special. Maybe the first time we played the Garden with Cream. There's just so many of them. It's difficult to pick one most memorable one.
You've played the biggest rooms in the world. Is there still a room that today Jack Bruce sits back, pinches himself, and says, man, I can't believe I played that room?
Well, I tell you what, it was really nice to go back with Cream. I'm harking back to it again, to play the Albert Hall again. That was kind of strange because we split up. That was almost our last dates were at the Albert Hall and then Madison Square Garden. So we did the same thing again, and I had to pinch myself for that one, that's for sure.
Let's go to 1992. You were at the Guitar Legend Festival in Seville. Who was there with you?
Oh, there was just about every guitar player in the world. The night that I was playing with Bob Dylan, Steve Cropper. Oh, just so many people. I can't even remember.
Oh, I'm sure. And you've done so many festivals and so many events.
I mean, that, and I'm glad you reminded me of that one, because that was one of the most enjoyable things that I did as a kind of get-together with musicians. That was a lot of fun.
So with all those musicians...
I got to sing a verse of I Can't Turn You Loose with Steve Cropper backing me up. So it doesn't get much better than that, really.
See, now that's a jam I'd like to have been in the audience.
Yeah.
So with all these people playing Fender Strats and Telecasters, did you use your Gibson EB3?
No, I was playing my trusty Warwick Fretless that night, which is what I've been playing for many years now.
Okay, so in 95, you reinvent yourself all the time. You released Monk Jack, and this was a project where you were on keyboards. And then you presented this at a festival? Was it debuted at a festival?
Yeah, more or less. It was at the Edinburgh Festival. But we also played in London. We played a few places, but it was something very different for me because, as you say, it was just me and Bernie Worrell, just two keyboards, and me singing. And it was great fun, very intimate. It was nice. Then
in 2010, the Jack Bruce authorized biography, Composing Himself. Did you have a part in this at all? Did you know about it?
I had a lot to do with it, yeah, because there was a couple of people who wrote things before supposed to be about me, and it was so inaccurate, and I just decided that if I wanted the right thing to come out, I would have to really give a lot of my time to work up with the guy on it, So it's pretty much accurate from my point of view, anyway. I guess there's some other people who might have different ideas, but I think it's a good read.
Hey, this is Berm. Here's a reminder. This is my 2010 interview from the Mark Berman radio show, AC Plugged In. Now back to Jack Bruce.
This is crazy, but as you're doing all this touring, I'm sure you have an iPod. Who's on your iPod?
Oh, it's very diverse. I'm just looking at it now. I mean, I don't think it would make any sense to anybody except me.
Oh, no, it would. Come on, hit us with it.
Alicia Keys, that's the first thing that's just come up.
Wow, nice.
I think is great. Just every classical music, you name it, Indian music,
Have you?
blues, of course. Oh, look, it's playing itself. Playing some Latin music. It's just everything, you know.
Have you?
Wherever I hear some blues, Billie Holiday, Louis Armstrong, everything.
Have you played Atlantic City before?
Oh yeah. I played Atlantic City a couple of times before with Ringo and the All Star Band.
That's right. You did. You were out on tour with Ringo.
Peter Frampton was the guitar player, and that was a fun band.
No, wait a minute. Was Ginger in that band too?
No, he was never in that band. He did. He was living in Denver at that time. He did come along to Denver, and I brought him on the stage, and we played White Room together.
That's right. And who was the guitar player on that? Was that
Frampton?
Frampton? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I would have loved to have seen that too. You also wrote White Room.
Yeah.
Wow. And I Feel Free.
That's right. I composed those three. It's true.
You know, I want to thank you for spending just a couple minutes with us here on AC Plugged In.
I've always had a great time in Atlantic City. I just like being there. It's a good place to be.
I want to thank Jack Bruce for spending a few minutes with AC Plugged In. You're absolutely you're a legend, and to have you on the show is actually an honor for me and for all of my listeners, a very big treat. I thank you so much for coming on.
Well, it's a very great pleasure for me, Mark. Thanks very much, man. Appreciate it.
The Mark Berman Show is always on. Go to markberman.com for our podcasts of our past shows and interviews.